Hey Tina, so it's really great to speak to you today. So let's just do, your hair looks lovely today.
To be fair, I've been doing Christmas decorations at the salon, and I've been doing a meeting, so I've had my hands like this in my hair, so I don't really look like the hairdresser today, but there we go.
Give us a little introduction.
So I'm Tina Hollis, and I own Take Two Hair and Beauty, which is based in Sittingbourne in Kent. I'm a master colour expert, and I've had my salon for 18 years, and I've been hairdressing for 28, so a long time. And I've been really lucky within my career. I've worked with a lot of people that are in the know. I've done photo shoots, I've done fashion weeks, I've been on art teams. So yeah, I've had sort of like quite a varied thing, but I would say predominantly I've also done business consultation, but I would say predominantly what I'm known for is being a colourist.
So I just said to you, I've had a little stalk up on your Instagram. It looks amazing. The colours look amazing.
Thank you.
But what's the lonely boss thing?
So the lonely boss thing became being a boss is lonely. So
It is, isn't it?
It's really lonely, and for women as well. I think for a woman, when you're dealing with a lot of other women and hormones and all these different things that we're going to talk about today, you're having to manage different people's personalities, and being the boss, the buck stops with you. So then you are on your own. So my girls always call me the boss lady because I hate it. I hate being known as a boss. People will walk in my salon and they will say, "Oh, who owns the salon?" And it'll be they say, "Oh, her." They'll go, "Oh," and it's because I see myself more as a leader and as part of the team. So as a joke, it started off a few years ago that they started calling me boss lady, bought me a cup with it and stuff like that, and then that's how the lonely boss lady was born. After COVID, I really wanted to help other people to sort of like get through things with their business that I've been through. I think as hairdressers, we start off as a hairdresser, and then we have a dream of opening up a salon, and then all of a sudden you're having to know the business side that you didn't have any clue about, and all the HR stuff, and like I say, just managing different people's personalities, it's very, very hard, and yeah, it's very, very lonely. So I started doing business consultancy. Been doing it for a few years now, and it's just sort of like a sideline. I still work with a few salons. I've been very lucky with some salons that I've worked with. One of my girls, actually two of my girls, last month won awards for their salon, so I'm really pleased. So that's really good. But yeah, just mentoring other people to sort of strive for more, really.
It can be a lonely environment when you're your own boss, can't it?
Yeah.
So obviously today we're going to talk about, like, the podcasts are called like the Midlife Glow Up, and it's just about sort of helping midlife women with different challenges that they face, really. And we know that midlife, perimenopause, menopause,
Yeah,
can cause some huge changes with your hair. I've seen it with my clients, and I thought, wow, you must see this every day.
Yeah.
So what do you hear and see with midlife women?
I think so as a salon, we've actually been investing into this because I'm in my mid-40s now. So therefore, if I've been doing people's hair since I was sort of 18 years old, that clientele like attract people in that same demographic. So my clients have sort of grown with me. So I think we're all hitting that perimenopause, menopausal stage around the same sort of time. So, but and then obviously I've got women that work for me. I've got some girls that are in their 50s. I've got girls that are in their 30s. So it's really good because we've got a whole range of everything. So, but for me, it's people worrying about how their hair's sitting, that they feel that their hair's not holding their style maybe long enough. They can't get the body in their hair they used to. Their face shape is slightly changing because, we sort of like lose a bit of plumpness in our skin, and just lots of different things like that. Is a conversation that we have a lot. This time of year, I have a lot of people say to me, "I'm losing a lot of hair. Oh, should I be worried? Have I got any bald patches?" And stuff like that. So you're just sort of like constantly looking for things for people and reassuring them. And if you feel that they need help with something, then obviously we're there to help them. But as a salon, as a team, we've been invested in like hair loss training and stuff like that, just because we want to be able to help people more with this time of their life.
Because some women must feel particularly distressed, because obviously some women, I think I've got 2 clients who it's affected a lot more. Like one of my clients come in, she's got like this huge head of hair, it's all thick, it's lovely. But I've got 2 that are it's actually affected them quite badly. So do they come in and they're quite distressed?
Yeah, so we've got some clients that will come in and it will be just lack of volume. You know, my hair, for instance, my hair used to be so much thicker than what it is now. It's definitely finer. Yeah. So we'll have that, and I think that's just a general thing, and I think that people are sort of a bit more understanding about it. We do get people that come in that have got female pattern balding, and or maybe sort of like just area, or just that their hair is getting so thin that it's becoming quite a concern. And it's not just the hair thinning as well, actually on the scalp, it is on how brittle it will be through those ends as well. They maybe used to be able to grow their hair a lot longer, but now they can't get it past here. There's all those sorts of things as well that we sort of like have to be able to advise them on and sort of like make them feel better.
And do you think sometimes what age group then? So you would say that it starts around about sort of like the perimenopause phase?
I think that this is a discussion that has been opened up a lot by people like Davina McCall and stuff like that have made it not such a taboo subject. I think that we get a lot of girls that are coming in their 30s that think they may be having some symptoms of perimenopause, but actually it could be stress related. So like their hair loss and stuff like that. For me personally, I think sort of like 40 upwards is when we're really noticing changes. I know myself, and with the girls in my team, the ones of us that are turning out into like our early to mid 40s, we're definitely noticing differences. Sometimes I think it can be easy if you're in a situation like in our salon, we end up having quite a big conversation with a lot of people. And sometimes I feel like you can be carried along on that conversation, be like, actually, I get that, or I get that. I think if you step back and everything, you can sort of like realise if it's happening with you or not. I've got some clients that are younger than me that are on HRT that really have gone through the mill. I've got a lot of clients it causes anxiety with, just in life in general and stuff like that. And all of that's going to have a detrimental effect on their hair and their skin. So
I was going to say that was going to be my next question. How do you feel that lifestyle stress kind of it obviously makes the situation worse? I mean, they are symptoms anyway, aren't they? But I suppose then if you notice if you're then stressed about your hair or feel that you're losing it, it must be like a little bit of a rollerball effect.
I always say to my clients, I can tell when my clients are going through things. Like I can tell from their hair. After COVID was really, really interesting. Seeing how the stress affected people. Sorry, my mother-in-law was trying to phone me.
Hang on.
After COVID, I really noticed a difference in some of my clients' hair, and that might have been because they had COVID, because of the stress of having to homeschool, not being able to work, the anxiety of going out or getting COVID, all these different things, was like really affecting them. And I had one specific client, I remember walking out, I was at the back of the salon and I came out, and as I walked around the corner, all at the back of her hair was probably my length, and there was a whole section that sort of like from the top section, it was like it had severed off. And she's got naturally curly hair and she looks after it. And I just literally, because I'd been doing her hair since I was 18 and I knew her so well, I went, oh, someone's been a bit stressed, because her hair will fray. And that it's like it just gives up. We have like clients that when I first met her, she had a whole section here. She was getting married, and the stress of organising the day and doing stuff like that, it literally, she just lost all her hair around here. It didn't break from the root or anything. It just went. So I had to like try and cover that up. So that's just normal stress. I think when you go into perimenopause and menopause, you've then got the hormones on top of that as well. And one thing that people forget is that hair is part of the second biggest part of our body. It's like second part of our biggest organ, within our body. But it's the least important. So if whatever's going on within, if someone has an operation, their body's got to rush to that site, look after that area. If they're ill or whatever, it's dealing with all of that. So the hair's forgotten. And what I find is that's when I can tell if someone's going through really bad stress. It doesn't happen immediately, although it can. We all hear like I woke up in the morning, there was like loads of hair on my pillow, or I woke up in the morning, I've gone grey or whatever. They're a little bit extreme, but you really do notice on the difference it can make on someone's hair, and that will be shedding. You get a lot of people around their hairline, that their hairline will get a lot thinner, and then it will grow back. When someone has a baby is a really good example because of the hormones that are in our body. Our body is made that when we're pregnant we hold on to everything, so we don't actually lose hair. On average, a person loses 100 hairs a day. So when someone has their baby and then their hormones start settling down and everything, they'll shed. And this is something that happens to us all through our life, but that's because there's been a stress on the body as well. So they might shed that little bit more. And that's something like, stress and everything can do to us.
So the lifestyle and managing your stress really is a factor that could possibly help.
I think it's a massive thing. There's always these memes, isn't there, about sort of like trying to juggle sort of like staying fit, being a perfect mum, being a perfect wife, running a household, holding down your job, drinking plenty of water. I think they're written about me. I'm sure you feel the same. It is really important. Another thing that I notice a lot is when people go on diets. So I'm sure within your industry, you notice people that maybe have had weight loss surgery and things like that, that the thing that will be impacted the most is the elasticity of their skin. So they end up getting loose skin and stuff like that. But their hair just breaks. And it's because it's not an important part of the body. And so all your nutrients go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because they're not really getting the nutrients and nourishing themselves the way that obviously you should be. It should be, but you should be.
No, so because your body needs it elsewhere. So it's sort of like it's forgotten. So obviously for women, things like estrogen and progesterone, that they're the hormones that are going to help your hair with its growth. They help us with everything, but they start to take a dip as we get older. Anyway, so that's just a nightmare. And then testosterone, I can never say that word, that can become more dominant within us, and that then can shrink the hair follicles.
All right.
So all of that's happening with your hormones. And then if you've got a bad diet, or you're not sleeping enough, you're not getting enough hydration, all these extra things, that's just going to add to it, because anything that you are eating is going to go elsewhere. It's going to be needed elsewhere. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, as estrogen drops, everything, the shit hits the fan, basically, doesn't it? And I think, so I think you're right. And I also think sometimes that women that have been forced unnaturally into menopause due to whatever, and have had I think that
okay, I'll move rooms. Sorry. My girls need my room in a minute. I didn't realise.
I think that sometimes they get it, that they seem to be hit that little bit harder. Because it all declines instantly. So what sort of practical tips can you give for women that are maybe thinking, oh shit, like my hair's a bit thin, breaking?
I think one of the most important things is supplements. So a supplement that I use is called Glower, and it was made by a nutritionist and a trichologist. So they basically took everything that they knew and put it together, and they just basically brainstormed like, what is it that women need to have. So they've got Glower, and then I can't remember the other one. I think it's like it's for basically, I think it's Mino or something like that. It's a great supplement, but it's made with coconut water, so there's no bulking agents in it. So whatever your body doesn't need, it just gets rid of, and it will take what it does need. So I've been using that for about 6 months, and the things that I've noticed for me is my hair's grown quite a lot. My hair this time last year was up here, so it's grown quite a lot. I had pigmentation on my face, and that started to go, which is crazy because bearing in mind hair and beauty salon and facials and stuff like that, that is something that I was really amazed by, because I've had different facials, I've tried different products, you know, everything that says, oh, it's going to do this, but this supplement has helped. So, you know, is it a coincidence? I don't know. What I find, and I'm sure you will find this as well, is everyone wants an overnight fix.
Yeah.
They want to be strong and muscly overnight. They want to lose their weight overnight. The same with the hair. So I really say to people, get on a supplement. Prevention's better than cure. But be realistic. You're not going to notice a difference until 6 months. And then actually for other people, they won't notice it until like 9 to 12 months. Because it takes that long in your body for it to actually work. And then I don't know whether you would agree with this or not, but for me personally, I think that having more protein in your diet, especially being older, is better for us.
Oh, preach.
I talk to people about that, which I think people find really strange, because I think that they think that I'm going to go, oh, use this shampoo, use this conditioner, or whatever. But when I start talking to them about supplements, and it's about what goes in their body is what's going to come out, and how you can help balance your hormones, I think that throws them off course. They don't really expect that off of a hairdresser. But
they probably expect something like, well, use this shampoo and you'll be fine, kind of thing, which is probably what they really want. You know, I'm sort of teaching about protein day in and day out. But it takes effort, doesn't it? Not everyone wants to take the effort.
I've got clients that come into the salon, and the ones that listen, the ones that will take my advice, I see such a difference on them. And then I've got clients that will come in every 6 to 8 weeks, and they'll be regular with their hair appointments and stuff like that, because they don't want to see roots and all of that lot. But it'll be the same conversation. Oh, my hair's shit, like in respect of that, it's just so flat, or it doesn't hold a style, or it gets really greasy really quickly, or this, or I feel like it's getting thinner. And it's like, all these things, like with our faces, you know, predominantly most women will cleanse their face every day, hopefully tone and moisturize. That's what we're taught, you know, like 3 basic steps: cleanse, tone, moisturize. It's the same for our hair. We have to look after our hair. But again, what we're taught with skin is what we put in is what we get out. And that's the same for our hair, because it's all part of the same organ. You see it with teenagers, their hair gets greasy, they get oily skin, but they're eating crap. So, you know, yes, and their hormones are going absolutely crazy. They're it's like raging. That's the same for a middle-aged woman. You know, our hormones are dipping and going here. And I mean, I don't know about you, but one thing that we laugh about is the hormone rage. When you be pumping around your body, it's like, oh my god. But yeah, my clients that sort of like have listened and have gone on the supplements, and you know, obviously using professional products on their hair. I'm a massive K18 advocate. It's a molecular product that we use within the hair when we're colouring, but it's also something that people can use when they're at home, that they've got an at-home treatment. It's so easy to fit the lifestyle that there's no reason why people can't do it. But again, it will come down to affordability. The actual outlay for it maybe at first will seem a lot, but actually it lasts for such a long time. And and then just actually having to put a bit of effort in, which I'm sure is something that you deal with.
Yeah, a lot. So treatments and professional solutions. So okay, so you said about the like supplements and things like that, which are all amazing, and obviously the road to go down long term. But if I came in and I was like, oh, like, what can I do? What would you suggest? Like, if I felt that my hair was really thinning, like, I mean, there isn't an instant fix, we know that, but
there isn't. So for me, if I had someone saying that they was really, really unhappy, I would look to see what I could do. So as a colourist, I can do colour placement, which will give an illusion of thicker hair. I would look at their face shape and how they are, you know, their lifestyle factors, and I would make sure that that's going to suit that as well, because that's, I always say, you look at any transformation program, and it doesn't matter if people had Botox, boob jobs, you know, lost loads of weight. Now, one thing that makes a massive difference to someone, you know, and will take years often, will be their hair colour and their cut. It's always the picture is the stance. You know, your hair's your crown, so it's got to be correct. If they're really, really concerned, I'd obviously like go down the route of K18. Regular hair appointments with professional products, you know, is a must. There's other services that you can do. So we offer microneedling, which is great for hair. You can have just microneedling on its own, and what that does, it creates a bit of trauma to the scalp, and then that just basically boosts your blood flow and gets everything pumping, and that helps to regenerate that hair regrowth.
you can have that on your face, can't you? You can have that as a face treatment.
But it's that same thing. We think of our face, about what we can use on our face, but we forget that the scalp is still skin, and we've got stuff going on here that we still need to look after. And I really do think people forget that. Like, you can like have an exfoliant for your scalp. That's really great because it's just going to unclog those pores. So yeah, microneedling is something that I would recommend. If someone was really, really struggling and they was suffering from, if I recognise signs of female pattern balding and stuff like that, I would probably recommend that they go to see a trichologist. Stephanie, who works here, she's amazing, bless her. She absolutely loves working with people that are going through hair loss, not because you know, the actual process of them losing their hair, but she wants to make them feel better. So she's actually just got into wig making, and she's done bespoke wigs for people, because, you know, we all want it. We still want to feel great about ourselves. But one thing that she, when we done our hair loss training this year, was that, you know, you shouldn't recommend people to have these things without seeing a trichologist. And she actually had a really great example of somebody our age that was losing hair, was very, very thin, and she went to see a trichologist, and literally they've just realigned her hormones, given her some different things, and her hair is growing back. It's wow. So if it's something that we don't think that we can help with in the salon, that's definitely a route that we would go. But yeah, just professional, you know, I always am going to be an advocate for that. I know people do stuff at home, and that's great, you know, but professional products, and you've got someone keeping an eye on your scalp and noticing different things for you all the time. And as I say, our job as a hairdresser is to make you feel so much better about your colour and your cut. So, you know, because as we get older, not only are we noticing that people are, you know, losing hair, it could be thinning and stuff like that. Other side effects are, you know, that we lose colour pigment. And so, but that's not just in our hair, it's in our skin as well. So we might need to tweak things. So at the moment, I'm this bright red, but one day I might need to change that. I don't know what I'll do. I want to be Sharon Osbourne. You know, I might have to change the tone to suit what's going on with my skin tone. Does that make sense? So
yeah, of course. And I think I was going to say to you actually that there are a lot of celebrities, and at one point there was a lot of people really embracing the grey. Okay. Yeah. And is that something that you would recommend?
So after COVID, there was a lot of people that were like, I've got this much regrowth, I'm just going to go with it. Can we just cut my hair? I would say that 85 to 90% of those people are now back having hair colour, because when you grow your hair and you start seeing like greys, you'll notice what's going on around here. So you'll be like, I'm really white here, but actually you're probably still dark here. So then you end up feeling a bit of a mishmash. If people have got that beautiful, that beautiful silver grey hair that like everyone just wants, I do encourage that. But realistically, the environment is still going to put things on that hair and it'll still go brassy. So they might still need refreshing and toners. I don't discourage people from it, but I do look at people and I will take into consideration their age and also their haircut. So if they was going to embrace, like if I just embraced having grey hair and had my hair cut like this, it wouldn't look right. I'd need to have something done. So yeah, that's something. I think it comes down to client lifestyle and all of that really, but it's something that we've definitely done in the salon, but most people revert back to having colour.
One of my clients though, she decided to do that, and she's got like quite short hair.
Yeah.
And it looked amazing, like just the colour of it, and she's so pretty.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean to be mean, but I think you've got to be able to carry it off, haven't you? Like I think I look like freaking Cruella de Vil if
I would look washed out. And I do think it is that. I think that you do. I always say like it's like the boho girls. I think carry it really well.
Yeah.
And some because they've got like this natural thing about them. So I just think that they just pull it off that little bit more. Sometimes we'll have someone that's got dark grey hair, and we might put some lighter pieces through the front just so it lifts it. So there's different ways of embracing it. One thing that we're definitely embracing a lot of is curly hair. We're definitely seeing people embrace their natural texture a lot more. We've got a curly cutting specialist, Jane, here, and the things that she does with people's hair. So that's really nice, seeing that side of things and seeing people in their sort of like 40s that back in the 80s and 90s we used to scrunch our hair and have it like really crisp with loads of mousse and everything. Whereas now we're seeing it and they are getting really beautiful curls and they're really nice and stuff. So that's really, really nice. And actually, I think that's really... making people have that feel good thing that they're actually being able to take something that's naturally theirs and enhance that. So that's good.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I've got naturally really curly hair.
Oh my god, I'm a Jane, because honestly that woman's a wizard. She is amazing. Yeah, she's I find myself just sitting there just watching and just being completely blown away on what she can create with people's hair.
But also as well, my hair has got curlier as I've got older.
Yeah, so some people will find that. Some people will find they lose their curl. It's really strange. Some people will find their hair being shorter, the curl will be stronger. Some people, I've got clients that as their hair gets longer, the curl gets stronger.
Yeah, mine is curlier.
Yeah.
I'm walking myself in. And so what? So I wanted to ask you sort of like the myths and facts, because talking about midlife women, like I can remember a point where it was like, well, you shouldn't really have like long hair over a certain age, should you?
Yeah.
Like, you must remember people saying that.
Yeah, 50's the new 30, isn't it? So I always like they're the people that are giving you the inspiration. That's the people. I mean, even people like Helen Mirren. I mean, that woman is amazing. I love her. She plays around with a bit of colour. She's got different cuts and styles. Her hair is shorter, but you've got other people that are sort of like in their 60s and even 70s that have still got long hair and they just look amazing. I mean, I'm quite pleased because I've just had my birthday, which means I probably would have been creeping up to being like a shampoo and set person. So I don't want to be that. I just think it is. I think times have changed, and I do think that there's so many myths about things, isn't there? But that's something that I have no idea. I think it literally just comes down to the face shape and making sure that we're enhancing things correctly. I think that when we get older, we get jowls and, we lose a bit of that elasticity. And so the easiest thing that people will do would like cut the hair off. And I know that actually, if I'm having a bit of a puffy week, which I do get nowadays, that actually I look better with my hair up because it really slims me down. So I think that's probably where it came from, that having the hair away, it would be better for people. So maybe it's that. But as long as you've got a good stylist, I think that's the main thing. Find a stylist that gets you. I attract a lot of people that like colour. You know, they see my hair colour, but then also like my lifestyle as well. I like weight training, I horse riding, I'm a mum. So I attract that sort of like demographic of people, but predominantly I'm known for my colour work. So it depends on what sort of person you are. Sometimes I'll do someone's hair and I think, oh, this is more of a Steffi client, and like Stephanie's much more boho than me. Or, you know, as I say, like Jane, you know, they'll have curly hair and I think, God, I can make this look nice, but Jane will like make this look amazing. So it's finding the right person for you, and then actually then you build this trust and you build a relationship. I'm very lucky, a lot of my clients are now friends, and therefore they trust me. I mean, if I say to my clients, what are we doing today, they sort of look at me and go, I don't know what we're doing, because I never want to do the same thing. I change them seasonally, and I change them according to what's going on in their life as well. So and I think that's really important.
I think it's about like, because I do think it's quite scary going to a hairdresser sometimes, and especially maybe if you are experiencing some of these like symptoms, or you feel like the last thing you want, you know, is some hairdressers may get a bit scissor happy, and you might think, oh shit, like if my hair's falling out already, like, so it's quite scary, isn't it?
It's really hard. I don't mean this rudely about other hairdressers at all, but I think unfortunately what happens is that we train as hairdressers and then that's it. And then there's some hairdressers that don't look to do more, and they sort of like just stay here and they carry on doing the same thing. So they'll have someone go in that's got blonde hair, they'll just do blonde foils. They don't really think about their skin texture change, their colours change, you know, all these things. And you've got the exceptions where you've got people that just want to do more and like don't want to be just the average hairdresser. That's the hairdresser to go to.
Yeah,
because they're the ones more invested in you.
And that applies to every profession.
100%. The same with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I've had PTs in the past that I've gone along, I've gone to a class and I go through the motions. I think this isn't doing anything for me, or like I'm not really feeling this, and they don't care, because at the end of it they just want to take my money.
Or they don't know any better.
Well, yeah, or I horse ride. So again, I've had instructors that come along and they'll stand in the middle, give me a few ideas, say do this, do that, and I think you've not taught me anything new, or you're just going through the motions to get at the end to get the paycheck. And then I'll have someone else that will come along. Now they'll change the smallest thing. So for me, it might be that I might put a fringe in someone. Do you know what I mean? But it will make such an impact to their whole look. They'll walk out my door bouncing. And a PT or an instructor for me with my horse riding can change one thing with me, and I'll be like, oh my God, that's just opened up a whole new door to me. So that's what you should look for, I think, when you're looking for a salon.
And for any professional, really.
100%, yeah. Yeah, and especially at our age. Because we all need to know how we can get.
Because we are entering a phase of our lives that we are responding differently to different things.
Yeah.
Like you must. What about like? Okay, so I know you've got to go, so I'll try and wrap this up. So what I wanted to ask you was about people that dye their hair at home, box dyes. Like maybe what if they're a little bit embarrassed to seek professional help, like, and they want to do it at home, and they get like, is it not possibly a good idea?
I mean, I'm a colorist.
So, yeah, you know the ones in Home Bargains.
No. Look, it's the same as what I said. What you put in is what you get out, and that's the same as what you're putting on is what's going to sort of like show. So you're always going to be able to tell the difference between a professional colour and a home colour. I think that for clients that have got anxiety, one thing that we do, I mean, I've got a client that really is suffering from hair loss, and you know, it's really hard because I've been doing her hair for about 20 years, and she's now lost sort of like hair around here and here. She's literally just got a section, and when she comes in, she now wears a wig, but I still need to cut her hair underneath. So I take her into a different room and we just do it privately, because that's what she needs. And I think that's the difference. I think if you've got an anxiety nowadays with social media, emailing, stuff like that, you can email into a salon, you can message a salon, and you can put your anxieties down. And if you don't feel like you're getting a response back from that person, you haven't got to book in with that one. but you could book in just for a consultation, get to meet someone, get their vibe, and then from that hopefully that will then grow that hairdresser relationship and give them the confidence to come in, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to sort of like help people and get confidence
and make them feel better about themselves.
Oh God, sorry. I've got people
Hi
trying to get in the room.
It is to make people feel better about themselves, isn't it? Do you think you've become a lot more understanding because maybe you're at a point in your life where you're experiencing some of these issues?
I would probably agree with that. Yeah, because I'm experiencing it. But I do think, like I said at the beginning, I do think that my clients and me are all going through it around the same sort of time. So therefore, and just because the conversation is so much more open now. If you said to me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, would we be standing in the salon floor sharing jokes and also not just laughing about it, but also feeling sad about things that are happening to our body, you know, and the things that we go through with perimenopause and menopause, because it does make us sad. I had a client the other day that was saying to me that ever since she's been going through the menopause, her anxiety is through the roof, that she has days she feels that she can't leave the house. There's days that she'll look at herself in the mirror and be like, I'm happy. And there's days that she'll sit there and feel really, really sad. Because it does change you as a person. I read something about how a lot of women don't put up with stuff and then actually they leave their husbands and stuff like that, because it changes you. Sometimes, like the other week, I was so angry over something so small. It was such a trivial thing, and I'm quite a laid-back person, and this trivial thing just ruined my day. And the whole time I reasoned with myself, this is hormones. This is hormones. But, you know, it is really hard. So I think I have got that probably a little bit more empathy to that situation. But I do think that because it's become much more of a conversation, it's much more open. I think it's a good thing, really. I think it's a really good thing that we're there to support each other.
It's sad that there's so many women that actually get diagnosed with depression, more so than hormone problems. And I did a blog last week about like how not to punch your significant other.
There's times.
Or your rage.
Yeah. I had a client that she told me that she went to the doctors because her rage was so bad that she said that she felt like she like literally wanted to kill her husband, or just when she would not that. I mean, she loves him and stuff like that, but she said there was times that she had to remove herself because she thought, I don't think I can control my anger. And he was saying that people have actually been let off of murder cases and done like manslaughter, etc., because they've been able to get off because of hormones. Or, you know, my husband and me was having this conversation at the weekend, and he said, I said to him, have you noticed a difference in me? And he said, a little bit. And he said, but I can't believe how much it really governs people, like how much it affects women. And I was like, buckle down, mate. We're just about to go. Like, oh, God.
Yeah. Did you know that you can get away with it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's really sad, but it's just one of those things. But I think it's good that as a, you know, within my hairdressing salon, I know that if anyone came in here with an anxiety or worry about hair loss or anything with their skin and stuff like that, I know that one, the girls have got knowledge for it, and two, you know, it's an open conversation. No one's getting judged. And I think that is the main thing.
Yeah, 100%. And to finish, hence why, as I say, I've been doing these podcasts, but it's just getting the information out there, you know.
Yeah.
You're not on your own. That we're all experiencing this rage, this anxiety, this all these things, and it's just kind of getting as much information out there. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I took
no, that's absolutely fine. It's my fault. I didn't check the diary to make sure that no one was in this room.
But thank you so much.
No, you're more than welcome. Thank you for asking me.
Tina, before I end the recording, where can people find you?
I'm at Take Two Hair and Beauty, which is in Sittingbourne.
So
on Facebook, Instagram, just Google us and we'll come up.
And if anyone listens to this and thinks, oh, actually, like I want my consultation, they can contact you.
Yeah, they can just email us or give us a call, book in for a consultation. It's completely free. If it's something that they've got anxiety about, you know, just pop that into a message or just let us know that, and we'll make sure that we can do it on more of a one-to-one basis for them as well.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
No, thank you.